Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Okrabo, and today I'm going to show you how to configure the remote desktop services over the Windows Server 2019. Okay, it's called the RDS. RDS stands for Remote Desktop Services. It is one of the major and very important services allowed by the Windows Server. In ancient time, before 10 to 15 years ago, in a Windows 2000 and Windows 2003, it was used to call the terminal server. But in present time, from the Windows Server 2008 R2, 2008 and 2008 R2, it is called the RDS. RDS stands for Remote Desktop Services. You can still call this is called as a terminal server. Actually, what is the RDS? RDS is a server or one of the roles of the Windows Server, which is allow you to take the control of the remote computer or virtual machine over the network connections with the cloud or internet. The remote computer or virtual machine can be just about anywhere on the planet. Then you can connect your computer from anywhere in your cloud. This is very useful in the present time for the cloud computing as well, and small to medium sized organization as well. Today, I'm going to configure step by step. First, I'm going to configure the session host server and first step, and then I will assign the certificate server, certificate SSL for the session host, and then finally RD gateway. My today focus is a RU gateway configuration successfully in my organizations. Let me review my topology first before going to discuss about the furthermore about lab. I have the one small server over here in my organization. This is my first server, is Active Directory, and it has the IP address 192.168.30.50, and server name is SRB1. And this server is going to be the Active Directory and CA server. And I have the one of the VM switch, it's a switch 1. And over here, one more server is over here. This server is called session host server or TS server, the RDS server. And I'm going to deploy my RDS as quick mode, quick setup. There is two types of setup. The first is called the quick setup. Quick setup is useful for the small to medium sized organizations. Okay, quick setups comes under the one server in the one roof. Okay, with the three servers: the first is session host, session broker, and remote desktop app. And one more server I'm going to put. The server is called the RD gateway. RD gateway is a server which is used for the accessing your terminal server or RDS server, this server from the remote locations or external network. This is my ISP. And from the ISP, I can connect my session source server or remote app server, or in other words, this server from here, this external user from the ISP can connect by help of the RD gateway server to this server. So this is my basic scenarios. And this server name is SRB2, and this name is SRB3. And my domain name is ibm.com.mp. This is my domain name, okay? And IP address 51 and 52. Now I have the one test machine, so on the Windows 10. And finally, I will test my RD gateway and session host server from my Windows 10 machine. So this is my overview of the lab scenarios. Let me show you the small picture, which is create this small idea for you. In actual environment, an active production environment, terminal server deployed by this way. Here, there is a server, is Active Directory, and licensing service here. This is not important if you are only practicing or if you are only testing the terminal server in your home environment. This is only important for the okay, a person or guy who are going to actually deploy the terminal server over the cloud computing or organizations. And this is my RD virtualization host, and this is RD session host, and RD web access, and RD gateway, and session broker. Before going to start my lab, I'm going to discuss about something about this all of the servers roles. Actually, what is the role of these servers? Actually, what is the primary role of this server or services which is used in the organizations or on the terminal server? Okay, my first server role is what? It's a RD gateway. RD gateway is one of these server is used by the terminal server for the connecting your session host server or the server from remotely. Or in other words, you can say, okay, RD gateway is allow the connections from the client outside of the firewall using the SSL, or is like proxy internal resources. It's like your gateway server from the external users. Let's see. This is my external user, okay, from the outside of my network, and these are my inside area, okay. So whenever user wants to connect with the RD web access or RD session host or Active Directory or RD virtualization host, then first he has to send the request to the RD gateway, and RD gateway send the request to the RD connection broker, and broker okay send the specific destinations. So this is the one of our server which is okay deploy okay end of our organizations or border of the organizations is a very close to ISP or border routers with the firewall. And first users send the request to the RD gateway, and RD gateway sends to the RD session connection broker, and broker send the specific web access or session host server or any other. Okay, so these are my basic scenarios, in topology understanding. So the second is what? RD session host. What is RD session host? RD session host is a centralized session-based applications or remote desktop, which allow you to remote desktop connections for the client computers. And the third one, what? RD virtualization host. Host centralized virtualization or host virtualization machine, or it's a server which allow you the virtual machine for your client computers. And RD web access, or it's called a remote app also. It is a server used to publish the application for the remote users. Then the remote user can access the application remotely, okay, from the remote computer, okay, from your local servers. It's called the RD web access. So let's deploy our configuration, our servers without wasting the time. Okay, my lab is in a VMware workstation 15.3. This is my lab. The server one is my Active Directory over here. This is my AD. And this one is going to be the session host server, session broker, and remote app server. And server 3 is going to be the RD gateway for my external users. So let's log in with the credential. First, let me go to the Active Directory. This is my Active Directory. Let me supply the credential passport over here to successfully log in inside my computers. This is my servers. Let's go to the server managers to check out what is the configuration over here and what is the username. Right now I have the two users is Amit and Sumit. Two users is over here, and name of the domain is ibm.com.np. And computers, server 2 and server 3. The two servers is already registered with my Active Directory. So I can go over here and I can log in with my domain credential. Okay, if this server is registered with the Active Directory, administrator@ibm.com.np. Okay, let me supply the credential over here. Okay, I am successfully logged in. And now let's deploy the terminal server over here, remote access server over here in the server. This is the add role and features. You have to go over here from the here, add role and features, and then after next, and you have to go by this way. Okay, in the below, okay, down options is a remote desktop services installations. Next, and there is a two type of the deployment. First is standard deployment, second is a quick start deployment. I've already discussed, I've already told you about you. The standard deployment is a concept. If you have the large scale of organization and you have the 1,000, 10,000 of the servers, and you are going to deploy when for the virtual license, for the cloud computing and data center environment, then you have to select the standard deployment. But if you are working with a small organization, then the small to medium sized organizations, then you have to deploy the quick start, because quick start deployment allow you the 3 server in a one server. Okay, 3 server will be installed in the one servers. So select the quick start and then after next. And there is a 2 type of this session. Okay, you can allow your remote desktop users. The first is virtual machine based desktop deployment, and second is session based deployment. The virtual machine based desktop deployment allows the users to access the virtualization machine, virtual machine, and session based desktop deployment allow the users to local servers. So I'm not going to select the virtual machine based desktop deployment. Today I'm going to discuss about, I'm going to deploy the session based desktop deployment. So select the session based desktop deployment, and after next, and server2.ibm.com.np. Okay, this server is going to be installed the RD server with the quick start mode. Next. You have to wait a few seconds, a few minutes for the successfully installing the RD session host server. So server 2 is going to be installed the session host server. So over here is clearly okay showing as in your process. This is the installation process, and these roles RD connections broker, RD web access, and session host server. 3 servers is going to be installed in the single service server 2. No problem. Just check on the restart the destination server automatically if required, and then deploy. So after deploying or after installing the remote desktop services roles on this server, the server will automatically restart and will reboot automatically by process. So I'm going to pause the video after resume my video after restarting or rebooting my server machine. Okay, I'm getting the boot up. Oops. Supply the credential over here, administrator at ibm.com.np. It's my domain name, and then password. Again, it will take some time for the post deployment process. So you have to wait for a couple of minutes to successfully install your post deployment installations. So over here in my server 2, remote extra services role is going to be installed, and session collections is going to be on this process, and remote app programs means after successfully install from the server 2, I can deploy the remote app for the remote users. By default, terminal server allow you the 120 days license. Okay, you have to buy the license from the Microsoft within the 120 days. After, if you didn't supply the license, then Microsoft reward your terminal servers automatically from your servers. So note this point. You have to purchase the separate license for terminal server. It doesn't come with your server license. Okay, this installations, post installation is going to be installed over here. So leave it, go to the server 1, and I need to have the 2 certificate. The first certificate is for the server 2 for the session host server, and second is for the RD gateway. So let's create the two certificate for my RD gateway server and session host servers. To create and to export the certificate from the server 1, I have to install, I have to have the certificate server authority server on my local computers. Right now I have the CA server over here. It's a certificate authority server. So I do confirm over here is IBM minus SRB minus CA is my certificate servers. So let me create a certificate for my both servers. So go to the IIS console over here, Internet Information Services Manager IIS server or IIS console can be create the certificate for your server, and then maximize it. Go to server 1 nodes, and then after server certificate, and I have already two certificate over here. I'm going to remove this both one. Now go to the create domain certificate. Okay, this is the your staffs, second staffs, and then up here, fill your server information over here and organize informations. This is not mandatory, but normally you can see this information on certificate and certificates. So my server name is srb2.ibm.com.np and organizations IBM INC, and organization unit you can give any organization name. In my case, I'm going to give the IT city Damak and state Jhapa and country Nepal NP. So you can select as per your one information and go to the next, and then show the certificate server is my certificate server, and then give the friendly name, any name you can give the. This is I'm going to give my friendly name for remember SRB2 certificate, and then finish. Export this one, browse and go to the desktop and name SRB2 certificate, and then give the strong password for your certificate protection. And one more certificate I need to create for my RD gateway. Create a domain certificate srb3.ibm.com.np and IBM INC, organizations IT city Damak, state Japa and country NP in NP for Nepal. Select the certificate authority server and then SRB3 certificate or gateway, and just export it. So the locations SRB3 gateway. You can give any name, okay? This name doesn't matter with their configurations. And give the strong password for the certificate protection. Okay. So over here, let's get back to the server 2 to see the configurations. It's successfully installed, no problem. This is my default link for the RD web access. So the first steps, let's assign the certificate for the servers 2. Let me copy the certificate from here. This is a 2 certificate, and paste it on the desktop of the R2. Oh, sorry, server 2. And then go to the remote desktop, collections, and quick collections, and go here, edit deployment, and go to the certificate. Wait. Edit deployment properties, and go to the certificates. And for server 2, as we know, we have all the 3 servers, the RD session, RD connections broker, RD connections broker, and the RD web access. So all the three servers is installed on the SRB2. So over here, I have to apply the SRB certificate for these three server roles. So let me attach my certificate, whatever I have in my desktop. Select the existing certificate and browse, go to the desktop and SRB2, select the SRB2 certificate, and then give the password over here. This password should be the match with your certificate when you did supply or assign the export process of the certificate. Give apply. Okay, it's trusted and now okay, successfully certificate has been assigned with the RD connections broker. And again, go to the next one and select the certificate, select the same certificate and give the password over here. And again, apply, wait a few seconds. Again, I'm successfully attached my certificate with the RD connections broker. And last one is the RD web access. Allow the certificate to be added to the trusted root certificate authority certificate stored on the destination computer. Okay, don't forget to take this one. Okay, all the three rules, okay, has been successfully attached or apply with my certificate of the server 2. So you can check from here. This information certificate. You can check from here. But RD gateway is still not active over here. For that, I have to install the RD gateway on my server 3. So okay, and let's install and configure the RD gateway in server 3. But before going to install and configure RD gateway, let me check the what are the role has been already installed on my terminal server. Right now over here, session broker is there, RD web is there, and RD virtual license is there, RD session also is there. But license is not there and RD gateway is not there. Okay, the green signal or the green sign of these rules is this means it's not installed already over here. You can check the server 2, server 2, server 2. Only server 2 is responding for all the roles, but I don't have the RD gateway over here. So first add the server on local servers. Go to the managed and add servers and find now. And server 3 is going to be my RD gateway server. Select server 3 and click add and okay. Wait a few seconds to successfully add the servers on the server pool. So I think I have successfully added my servers on local server pool. You can check from here, server 2, server 3. Go to the remote desktop services and then select the RD gateway to install the RD gateway in server 3. And select server 3 and click. And the next. And then give the FQDN name. Okay, FQDN means fully qualified domain name. In my case, FQDN means srb3.ibm.com.np. It's my FQDN name for my testing lab purpose. Okay, the next, and this stuff is going to be install RD gateway. RD gateway external FQDN. So srb3.ibm.com will be my external FQDN for the RD client, and then click add. It's going to be installed my RD gateway server on the server 3. So wait a couple of minutes to successfully install these roles on the server 3. Okay, bingo. server3.ibib.com.np has successfully installed the RD gateway role services. So one of the important thing and important point you should not forget during the deployment of the RD gateway, RD gateway doesn't work without the certificate. You have to attach your certificate with your RD gateway servers. So for the attaching the certificate, go to from over here, configure certificate, and then go over here and select engine certificate. I have the already certificate ready on the desktop. It's a gateway certificate, and allow the password over here. Then okay. And apply. Wait a couple of seconds to successfully attach certificate with your server 3 or RD gateway server. Okay, trusted, success, okay, okay, okay. And then okay, close. Now you can see over here, the picture has been changed. Okay, RDX is has been configured and installed. A gateway is also configured and installed, and only the one of the roles RD licensing is remaining or pending. Remaining all other okay role has been successfully installed on the server 2 and server 3. Server 3 is my RD gateway. What? Server. So let's test from the, let's go to the okay, server 3 for the just navigation purpose or just checking purpose. Okay, I think it's installed or not. Go to the tools and then remote desktop and go to the remote desktop gateway manager. So server 3 is local, its policy is over here. By default, all user can use the RD gateway servers monitoring. Right now, there is a no user using your RD gateway server. So for the testing purpose, I have to start my Windows 10 machine. This is my Windows 10 machine, this client machine. It's supposed to, this is my external machine, or this machine is from the outside of my organizations, and he or she comes to my terminal servers to access the network resources for the work from home purpose or for the other purpose. So let's log in with the appropriate credential over here. Right now, Amit user is there. Log in using the Amit. And one of the important thing, okay, you should not forget. The thing is what? Let me open the notepad. I have the two server over here right now for the remote desktop purpose. Let me type. The first is srb2.ibm.com.np. This is my session host server, including remote desktop app and connection broker. The second is srb3.ibm.com.np. ibm.com.np is my what? It's my gateway server, RD gateway server. So my RD gateway server is on the server3.ibm.com.np and session host server is on server2.ibm.com.np. So over here, my both server has to be request for my connections. So how to configure the connections over here? Go to the run, Windows R combinations and MCSE, and then after what? So options, and then advanced and setting, and this should be your gateway server. In my case, my gateway server is what? srb3.ibm.com.np, and okay, and in general tab, this should be your what? Your session host server, srb2.ibm.com.np, and my username amit@ibm.com.np. Means my session host request goes to the server2.ibm.com.np, and my gateway server will decide whether I'm able to access the server 2 or not. Okay, this is my gateway server. So differences is normally you have to put your gateway server over here, and still you need to put your what? Session host server. So connect and see. There is a clearly showing us and telling us what about this mean. This means server3.ibm.com.np is a gateway server. Okay, it's going to what? Map the server2.ibm.com.np. This means okay, the first header of your packet is going tag with the RD gateway, and gateway receive the data, and then gateway decide toward the what? Session host server. So in number 2 is server 2 is session host server, and number 1 is a gateway server. First, my packet reach to the gateway server, and then after gateway server decide about the what? My session host servers, and give the password. I'm successfully logging with the amit@ibm.com.np from the external client. You can check from the server 3, refresh. Amit is here. Amit is using my RD gateway server, and of course, RD gateway server must be the redirect of traffic or redirect my connections toward the session broker or what? Session host servers. I have to check from here, refresh, Amit, this way. You can use this same of the setting from the different computer also, no problem. Multiple user, 1,000 of user can log in from the external site. So let me use my local laptop OS for the Summit users. MCSE, and go to the advanced and the setting, put your RD gateway server, srb2.ibm.com.np, and in practical environment or production environment, this IP address or this name, DNS name or IP address must be forwarded toward the public IP address, or it must be the mapping with the public IP address. And then use my credential, and and in general site give the what? Acute name of the session host server, srb2.ibm.com.np, and username Sumit ibm.com.np. For testing purpose, I have to map my DNS servers according to my IBM domain. Go to the IBM domain, network adapter, and map the DNS server. So 50 is my DNS server of the IBM. So just put the 50. This is my IBM domain, DNS name, DNS IP. Okay. So let me test from here, connect, and same server2.ibm.com.np. Server 2. Okay, I have to apply over here the server 2, and from this side is server 3. Server 3. It should not be same. Okay, it was same. This is not correct. Okay, because both of the services are going to be respond. Both of the services, gateway as well as the session host, is going to be respond by the server 2. In actual environment, in actual setting, server 2 is responded for the gate. Server 3 should be the responded for the gateway server, and server 2 respond. Responsible for the session host server. So here server 3 should appear on the number 2 server. So let's go back to the general tab. The server 2 is okay, and gateway server I did configure mistake. So put the 3. Connect, and then give the password of Sumit. Oh, this computer cannot verify the identity of the RD gateway server 3.ibm.com. It is not safe for the connect to the server that can be the identified. Okay. For this situation, what you have to do, you have to export the certificate, root certificate from the where? From the CA server. Okay. So how may I export the certificate? I can ask for the certificate from the CA server. Let me ask http://192.160.30.50. It's my CA server, and sort SRB, and give the username Sumit, and password what? Sumit password, and then download a CA certificate. Install CA certificate, and install for the what? For the trusted certificate root. Successfully install certificate now. Now again go to the connect, and then give the password. Bingo. Now I'm successfully logging with the Sumit also. No problem. I can verify from my server whether Sumit is showing or not. Refresh, Sumit is showing from the different computers, and check the session also. Sumit is over here. It's active. This is the what? RD gateway and session host server, how we configure. What does this means? This means Sumit is actively using my RD session host server, means server 2 server from the remote computers. What does this means? This means the RD gateway server is successfully what? Approved the Sumit and Amit user for what? For remote desktop access. From the what is the client IP address? Client IP is showing over here, and what protocol is showing, idle time is showing. Okay, connection duration is showing, connected. Okay, date and time is showing, username is showing, and user ID is showing over here. You can check over here. Okay, target server, and what is the data is using by the Sumit and Amit. You can do refresh over here. So this is the what? Configuration of RD gateway server as well as remote host servers.